Sorry if you hear any ambient noise in the background. My man cave and my guitar room are just in shambles. Charlie, our new forum guy, had asked about this. The F-35, looking for a cheap acoustic. And just to give you guys some pointers, when I refer to guitars as being plywood guitars, there's a reason for that. This is not a solid block of wood. And the reason I say that is because it's not flat. There's a curve to it. There's a curve to it here. Even with my, my Taylor 214, it's still a plywood laminate guitar. This is not all the way through. It doesn't have a lot of bracing inside, but there's a huge arch on the back of it. I don't know if that's coming through here clearly, but an enormous arch. They call these grand auditorium or grand concert models. And, when you start talking about the Martin D18s and the HD 28s and whatnot, this is a flat back acoustic guitar. There's a little bit of an arch, not much. Move side to side, hardly any. A little bit up and down, but this is just tone wood, flat, straight out. But when you're shopping for acoustics, my advice is, test the neck. I told Joe about this. And hit the harmonics. And you want to hear that wave. It's hard. I hope the camera picks this up. But there's a wave. It's up and down. It's not just ringing out pure harmonics. There should be a little bit of a wave. So even with this nice Taylor, you don't get that. Not as much as you should, for the money you pay. It's just straight out. Tuning or intonation, but when the wood is aged and it gets some of the effect of the environment around it, there should be some wave. This has got wave. So if you start to move the guitar, start getting a lot more of that effect. So here's the 40-year-old plus. And it keeps ringing. And it's got that bell-like effect. Credit to Martin and Taylor for what they're doing. It's a laminate guitar, and they're trying to make it sound like a vintage guitar right out of the gate. And they do an awesome job of it, but is it going to grow and get, more of that mojo and that sound like this one has later on, I doubt it. Pure harmonics, nice and clean, no wave, no wave at all. You know, so for a plywood guitar, with an arched back, yeah, this is a great guitar. You can hear that wave a little bit, as much as it's capable of doing. So I hope that helps a little bit. It's plastic pegs, plastic bridge, plastic nut. This one, plastic, bone, and very little bracing. I mean, if any, because it's a laminate plywood guitar, it doesn't have a hell of a lot of bracing. It doesn't need it. Now this one, you can see the bracing right away. Lots of bracing right inside there. But that's because the way it's made. But you get lots of waves right away. That's what a really decent acoustic will do for you. So when I'm playing that Sweet Judy Blue Eyes,